Welcome to another episode of Hoopla. It's your boy Rel. I'm joined with a very special guest, my guy Chris Miller. How you doing, Chris?
Good, man. How you doing? Good morning.
I'm good. I'm good. So, first, congratulations on Player of the Year.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we're gonna get right into it. So Hoopla pretty much is a podcast that allows hoopers to talk about their journey. So whether it's with the game of basketball, outside the game of basketball, to let people know that there's other avenues outside of just playing in the NBA. There's people that are very successful playing basketball, having a career playing basketball all around the world that are from America and everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So let's start out. So Chris, just start out like telling us like how your journey started, like where you're from, how you got into basketball, all that.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn. Basically, growing up in Brooklyn in the '90s, everybody was playing ball, whether it was like shooting on fightings, crates, monkey bars, or actually playing on the basketball court. So all my friends was playing basketball, and then growing up in Brownsville, I lived in a two-family house with my cousins. So we used to just go play ball damn near every day of the summer, every day, whenever it was cold, hot, whatever. We used to just always play, and like my goal was to just keep up with them. Like they was the nicest ones in my area, so I was just trying to keep up with them, and then I just started falling in love with it then.
Yeah, let's go. So we're in Brownsville.
Saratoga and Riverdale.
Oh no,
So
no.
we went all throughout all the parks in Brownsville. We went to 275, Betsy Head. We went into Mother Gaston, BRC. We was everywhere. We was just traveling, just playing ball. Like that's back when it wasn't no real gyms like that besides BRC. So we
Yeah,
were just going to different parks and seeing who was out there, who wanted to play.
yeah. Well, it's crazy because BRC is actually the first place that I've actually played basketball. Like that was my
Yeah,
the first place where I played ball, like all like
yeah,
actual real basketball that wasn't like park basketball.
yeah. BRC. Yeah, they had a couple things for us. For me, my first place playing ball was 275. They had a nice PAL program. So on Saturdays, like if you was from Brownsville, that was the place to be for real.
Yeah. So like high school, where did you go to high school?
I went to Abraham Lincoln. My first 2 years, I played JV there. I was a captain. We made it all the way to the championship and lost. And then I transferred to Paul Robeson. Like they let me play varsity there, so I finished out in Paul Robe.
Okay. What year were you at Lincoln?
I was in Lincoln from '07 to '09. So I went to school with Lance Stevenson, and then I went to school with Isaiah Whitehead. Like I was transferring out when he came in, so we did a
Uh,
little together. Yeah.
yeah, so I graduated '06,
Okay.
and I went to Fort Hamilton, so we played Lincoln. It
Yeah.
was that was my senior year was Lance's freshman year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Lance's freshman year. So like '06, yeah, '06, '05, '06.
Yeah, he was different, man. Like at school, he was just the biggest dude in school. He's that same size since I don't know,
Yeah,
16. He was a man child for real, and like going to school with him and just seeing like that type of celebrity in your school, like he was the biggest thing out of Brooklyn at the time.
yeah.
So to be able to go to school with him, like play ball against him sometimes, like it was dope. It was dope for real.
Yeah, I mean, and Lincoln was a powerhouse. I mean,
Lincoln
my
was I tell you this, like I was on even our JV squad was tough, like because we had so many guys.
yeah,
Even like at the JV tryout my freshman year, it was 400 guys at the tryout.
wow,
You
that's
miss a
crazy.
layup, you out. You miss a free throw, you out. You know what I mean? Like it was that type of situation. 400 guys, they make the top 15 out of 400 guys. That's when I knew I could play a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think yeah. I mean, my 4 years there, they Lincoln won the championship all 4 years
Yeah,
from
pretty much,
yeah
pretty much.
'02 to '06. They won, and
Yeah.
and and like I think my senior year it was Lincoln versus Grady in the championship.
Okay. Yeah,
So
when I was coming up, Grady wasn't that great. I had my boy Jabari. He played there. Jabari Peters. He was like the toughest thing out of Grady at the time.
yeah,
But the the team wasn't really that good. You know, but he was getting buckets out there.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when I was in high school, Grady was top five. Grady was just as good as Lincoln.
Okay.
And then yeah, now it's
Oh,
different though.
you know how close they are to each other, so that's funny that they played
Yeah,
against each other in the championship. Like that's right across the street for real.
that's why the championship was so crazy. I mean, it was at the Garden, but they
Yeah,
literally like 4 blocks away from each other.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to do summer school in Grady one time, so I know exactly. It's right across like right across Ocean Parkway.
Yeah. So after Lincoln, where did you play college?
So I went to a junior college upstate New York. It's called Clinton Community College, and that's kind of where like I grew wings, I guess you can say. Like after my first semester freshman year, like basically a lot of the players failed off, and it was my time to like be that head guy, and I never looked back since. It was a great experience for me. It taught me a lot. You know, I grew up, learned how to be a man there. I had my own apartment out there. I was just,
Yeah.
kind of like dealing with responsibility for the first time, and being away from home. So like Plattsburgh, Clinton community, that was like a big step in like me growing up. And as far as like basketball went, I was learning my game. I was learning what type of player I was. And my coach just let me make mistakes. And I thank him for that because he just told me like, have confidence in yourself, shoot the ball. I'm not gonna take you out if you make a mistake. And he let me have a 50-point game. He didn't let me have a 50-point game, but like
Yeah.
he allowed me to get off when I was hot. I had a couple 30-point games. I had the school record of 50. I ended up scoring in 2 years 845 points.
Wow.
So he let me go. He let me go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I mean,
from there,
no, I was gonna say that's always good. Like a lot of people don't really understand. Like, I mean, that's
yeah,
not in the basketball field. Like the coaching, that part of coaching is a huge part of a player.
yeah,
Being that way. Like a huge example is like Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. Like obviously Steve Mario is like Mark Jackson started the Warriors, and I mean in a way he kind of did, but at the same time Steve Kerr was the guy that made them a championship team. Mark Jackson made them a playoff team. Like it's a difference, and I think the difference was Steve Kerr was like he was telling Steph like take that shot, like
yeah,
because Mark Jackson was not allowing Steph to take shots 10 feet from the three. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very old school. Like he wasn't allowed
yeah,
that, but Steve Kerr was like, if you can make that, then that's a good shot for you. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like I
yeah.
think I think that played a huge factor in like changing Steph's game, like and which then changed the whole league. But like Steve Kerr being like, you ever seen like there's videos of him like, you got to keep shooting. Like if you got to keep shooting. Like a lot of coaches don't do that, and that could change the whole player.
A coach can make or break a player, and like it's so many stories of those situations where a coach might have ruined one of the players' careers or ruined their lives. That's a little bit extreme, but it happens. And a lot of coaches, the where they mess up at is they try to have a stronghold on the program, and they don't understand that the way that your program is going to be successful is if you get along with your players, if you actually let them play and find a way to relate to them. With those old school coaches that have this is my like an army type of feel to the basketball, like where everything is like a dictatorship. Basically, it's my way or no way.
Yeah,
It's no like everything is just one way. That's it. And if you mess up, you're out. A lot of people can't play in those type of situations. So
yeah.
as a coach, you have a very like big task at hand, and I don't think they really understand that sometimes.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, it's like it's a lot. It's a lot to it, and like obviously growing up, especially in New York, everything people always like, oh, everything is politics. Like, oh, I'm not getting time because it's politics, and it's like some of it is for me. I feel like some of it is excuse, but some of it is real though, because there are relationships, there are certain things that coaches can manipulate a game or manipulate how you play a
Yeah.
game. So it's like if
Open,
I'm trying to get
open.
scouted if I'm trying to get scouted, for example, like, oh, I'm a 3-point shooter, and I want to showcase that. And the coach is like, no, that's not your game. And even though it is now you're not known for that, even though that could be like what gets you your scholarship or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's. I know. For one, it's not. I mean, maybe it is politics, but it's just like the coaches have their favorites and they have their connections with whatever kid because of who the father is or who the mother is or where that kid is from. So I've definitely seen my fair share of politics. Now, you could allow that to be an excuse, or you can just work around it. It's going to be a little bit of a tougher road, but it is what you make it. Like, okay, they did this, it's politics, but if you can play, you're going to find a way to play somehow, some way, whether you got to transfer schools, like which I had to, because Lincoln, I'm not talking bad about them, but we all know it was a lot going on over there. To win
Yeah,
a bunch of championships, there's a lot going on. I'm not down on them, but I just had to find a new place to play.
yeah,
I had to leave. And it hurt me to leave. I had to make a business decision like, all right, am I going to sit in school for 2 more years and not playing ball, or am I going to go find somewhere that I can actually play at and get some
yeah.
good minutes? And that's what I went to Paul Robeson. So politics is just a bump in the road, and you can allow it to stop you, or you can just move around it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's a lot of stories like that. I mean, it's just knowing, I mean, obviously you being in school, it's more than just basketball. It's like I'm leaving my friends, I'm leaving these people that
Yeah, exactly.
but at the same
Yeah,
time, it's like for the future, that was the probably the best decision that you've made. Probably one of the best decisions of your life. Of your life.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like it definitely did shape my life. I guess you can say that because it pushed me to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, and I just couldn't see myself like. I mean, I was a smart kid and a smart student, but I just wanted to hoop. So if I was going to school for 2 more years and I wasn't playing basketball at the time, I don't know what really I would have been doing, and
Yeah,
I probably would have had no going to school. So for me, it was just about finding that school that I could play at, make an impact, stuff like that. And I went with it. And I did have to leave a lot of my friends behind. It was tough. It was tough. And then we ended up playing them. I mean, we played in the same league.
oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so my first game back in Lincoln, that's like the year right after Lance left. Uh, everybody's everybody's getting on me. Like you traded us, you left us. Like
yeah,
they going
yeah,
crazy on me. Like, bro, I tried out for the team. I thought I was next in line. I was captain of the JV, took them to the championship. I thought I was next in line. It
yeah,
didn't happen that way. And you blaming me, talking about I'm a traitor? Okay.
yeah,
Like, but they don't understand the back, the
yeah.
back end of it.
It's a
Like,
lot to it.
yeah. So, but we ended up beating them, which was kind of like a little bit of revenge for me. We beat them the first time in like 5 years at home.
Uh,
So yeah, we did that at Paul Robeson.
yeah, that's dope.
So
So you went
yeah,
after Paul Robeson. You went to junior
Clinton
college,
Community. Yeah, yeah.
and then
And
after that,
after junior college, I went to a D2 down in West Virginia. It's called Salem International. Um, and that was like my first introduction to like really talented ball players
mm,
from all over. Like we had guys from the South, we had guys from the Northeast, we had guys from overseas, we had guys from the West Coast. Our team was full of pros, full of D1 guys that kind of, might have messed up or got into a little bit of trouble. We had guys that were just talented. It was kind of like when Last Chance U came out. It was like that's kind of like how Salem International was,
yeah,
uh, and it's just like these guys are talented. Not me necessarily, but some of these guys were a bit older and played D1 for a couple years, maybe took years off. Like those are the type of guys that were in there with me. So I have to literally play against grown men. I was 19 when I came in, and I was coming in as a junior, and I was one of the youngest guys on the team as
wow,
a junior. I had some dudes that was 25 on the team,
wow,
26, 24. You know what I mean? So it taught me a lot, of just how to compete, how to be around those type of guys. And our coach, I'm not naming any names. He was crazy. Um, he was crazy. So we had about 18 active guys on the roster.
Wow.
And every single practice mattered. So if you had a bad practice, you literally wouldn't suit up that game. So
Wow.
he kind of against each other in a way because if me and you play the same position and you have a good practice, you're playing this week, I'm not.
Yeah.
So our practice were the most competitive thing that way more competitive than the games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we had great talent on that team. But my junior year, we made it to the conference playoffs. I think we made it to the second round through all of that drama. Because when the minutes and the rotations are just random, you're gonna have some problems with the team.
Yeah.
And besides all that, we still ended up making it to the second round. I think that year we could have made it to the finals. But it just didn't happen that way. But like Salem was a great experience for me, and then it opened up the door for me to make connections with some of these with some players from like Spain, France,
Mhm.
Africa. I got some good friends from out there, and it just opened up the door. Like I always knew overseas would be possible, but like I'm actually talking to them about like the ins and outs of playing over there versus playing over here. I was learning that in 2013, when I was a junior in college. Um, so I think it was really setting me up to learn like work ethic and just how to be a professional. Because I was around, in Salem, I think I was around 8 guys that ended up going pro
Oh wow.
from that school, and it was a
Yeah.
two. 8 guys
So
went pro from that I went to that I played with.
what like conference like who did you guys play in the conference?
Our conference was fairly new, but we played teams like West Liberty. Um, they were big in West Virginia. We played West Virginia Tech, Ohio Valley. We played teams down in Kentucky. We played Kentucky Wesleyan. That was like one of the biggest schools. And down in that area, we played a lot of NAIA D1. But we played mostly in the Midwestern Conference.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I played well, I played D2 as well. I played in NE10. I played at Franklin Pierce.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, I know people that actually. I mean, it was the same. It felt like the same. It kind of was the same way. I mean, we didn't have like a lot of people that transferred, but it was almost the case like a lot. It was most of the team was like players that had like issues in high school or probably could have played
Yeah.
Division 1 and then something happened. Injuries, that type of thing. So like it was kind of the same. And then also, I mean, as far as playing overseas, I always thought that was a opportunity to like it was something that I wanted to at least try. But it was almost the same for me because my school had a lot of people from overseas. I mean, not particularly my team.
Yeah.
My team might have had maybe like I mean, my roommate was actually not from America, but I mean probably like two. But my school had a lot of like our soccer team and all that had a lot of people from just overseas. Like the girls team had a lot of people from overseas. So I just met a lot of people from
Yeah.
Europe, and I'm like, it kind of sparked my interest in like I want to play overseas.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I know, and then like it wasn't the I didn't my team wasn't the case like we didn't have people playing overseas like that I play with, but there were people before me that did. So like I got in contact with them,
Yeah.
and then this place that did after me too as well. We were actually pretty good after like a couple years after I left. I think they went to like the Final Four or something, like in 2013 or 14, one of those. But yeah, I mean I mean it's almost the same thing. Like you get into a scenario like that, and you're like, this is an actual possibility, especially when you see people around you that have done it. It's like, I know I could do this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For in my case, everybody that I was actually in school with went pro. Like my senior class, six of
mm,
us went pro.
wow,
So I didn't really have that example. I had some guys that went pro from my high school, so I knew that was a thing. They always came back. They always came to talk to us, stuff like that. But in my actual school, we didn't really have any pros to look up to from my college that went overseas from
Mm.
Salem. Not I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but I don't think so. Like from
Yeah.
like the couple years before. Um, but it was a thing of like we just had the talent. So after that, after my senior year when we lost in the playoffs, I pretty much knew I had a bad year, but I knew I can play. And you hit with this like decision, like do I go for it or do I just call it quits
Yeah.
because I didn't finish out the way I wanted. Literally every team on Eurobasket, every agent, every coach on Facebook, anything that I could find, I was like literally from March 2015 on, I was just contacting everybody. Um, Went the whole tryout route. Went through a lot of scams, but I just knew that I knew if I get that situation, that opportunity, like I would make the best of it.
Yep.
And so
Yeah. I mean, the same thing. It was the same thing was pretty much for me. Like when I came out, I was like, I just knew that I was going to play. Like I didn't look for the job or anything. I was like, I knew I'm going to do this because I know I can do it. So
yeah,
for me, I did the same thing. I had like a template of email of like my resume, and I sent it. I went on Eurobasket, sent it probably to like 300 teams, I would say,
yeah,
and then and then I wind up getting some back. Like I got like maybe like 5 teams, different countries. Then I started winding it down. Like, but
yeah,
I knew that I wanted to play in Europe, so like I got an offer from like Argentina and then one in like South Africa, and I was like, I don't really want to do that. Like I
yeah,
kind of want to do the European experience, and then I got like a couple from Germany, and then that's when I wind up, and that's how I met Ronnie. I
yeah,
was I was his roommate in Germany.
yeah. So like me ending up in Germany, I never chose Germany. It kind of like chose me for because I. It's gonna sound funny, but like seeing love in basketball, like I always wanted to play in Spain.
Yeah,
I always thought like that would be the thing. Okay, Spain is the place, or like Italy is the place. Like you
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I never really knew much about Germany besides like a couple things.
yeah, yeah.
So like um, my guy Ron Howard, he hit me up. He was doing some tours out there, and he hit me up the year before, and I didn't really know about him, so I kind of left him on red. But I saw that it was a legit opportunity. So the next year, I came out there and I did the tryout, I did the tour, and then I got a couple of my own tryouts out there, and that's how I got on. But I
Mm.
never chose Germany. I didn't know anything about the language. I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about the culture, really. You know, so it was not on my list. But I'm happy. I'm happy it did choose me. I'm happy I did end up there because I learned so much about Europe, about the actual country, and about like how it affected the world pretty much. Like I learned
yeah.
about Germany while I was out there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Germany at all. For me, honestly, I wanted to go to Greece because I was like, yo,
Yeah,
my high school we had a couple of Greek kids, and they used to be like, "Yo, you got to go to Greece," and I'm like, "All right, that's on my list." But then, yeah, I mean, it's just like it was just like the only teams in Europe that hit me back up were just in Germany, and I was just like, I am gonna do it. Like I was just like, I gotta do it. It's like for me, it was just like I gotta leave. So it was like whatever's the best. And then I
exactly.
wind up taking that offer, and it was, I mean, it was definitely life changing. I mean, and it's the people that I got to connect with, and I'm still in contact with 10 years later. So it's like definitely a great experience.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely. Germany, they treated me well. They treated me well. I had some really good years out there, just kind of climbing the ladder. And I didn't take the traditional route, which a lot of people see and they think you come fresh out of college, you get all of these offers, you got some G League tryouts, NBA tryouts, and you don't make it, so you go overseas, and you had like the top level overseas. Like I kind of started off literally legit from the bottom level,
Mhm.
like I started off in the Riga too. So in those leagues, I think it's more difficult for the American, to be honest. Like that route is more difficult because you're not really getting respected, and if you don't perform, then you're not going to be looked at as a good player.
Yeah,
But if you do perform, they're telling you it's a low level. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
two that I've been having to deal with, where I literally led the league in scoring, took a team to the championship, led the next league in steals, took another team to the championship, um, moved the team up twice, player of the year, all of this stuff, and they try to discredit it because of the level that it is.
yeah.
And but over this journey, it's just I wouldn't trade it in for anything, and like I know that I can play, so I'm just keep going with it for real.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also too. I mean, a lot. I mean, people that don't might not understand how it works. It's like once you get into a country, it's not like you could just bounce around. I mean, you can, so to speak, but once you get in, you kind of want to like conquer that country because that's how
Yeah,
you. It like if you was putting all the time in Germany and you go to Spain, then you
yeah.
might have to start from the bottom because
From the bottom,
it's
yeah,
not the same, you know. So like a lot of people that don't understand that part of it, and then it's like Germany is a country where you would want to do that though, because it's
yeah,
not many countries like that. I mean, it's not you can go anywhere. I mean, as far as the leagues go,
yeah,
but Germany you could really start at the bottom and just
yeah,
really go up.
yeah. Luckily for me, I didn't have to. I didn't have to start all the way down at the bottom. I started at a decent level, um, but it was tough. It was definitely tough. I seen a lot of guys come and go. I seen a lot of guys that couldn't do it. The conditions out there, you legit probably have practice twice a week. You
Yeah,
probably only touch the ball 3 times a week. Every game day, you got to figure out your game. You don't really get the weight room access.
yeah,
It's all different types of conditions that you have to deal with out there. And then, like I said, you're not being looked at as a pro.
no,
Out when you're playing at those lower levels, you're not really looked at as a pro in that country. So you just feel like slighted. You feel a little disrespected. Like I know I can hoop,
yeah,
um, but the locals are looking at you like, maybe. But they don't understand that in the Riga 2, there's only one American per team. The Riga 1, there's only one American per team.
yeah,
Pro B, there's only one American per team. We're talking about levels 3, 4, and 5. There's only one American. That's legit only like 200 guys in the whole country of Germany that's playing basketball from America.
yeah,
So no matter what level that you end up at, for you to just get to Germany and be able to play, like that's an accomplishment on its own.
yeah.
Because there's 200 guys out of the millions of guys that would be trying to take this contract from you in the States.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like you are a pro for. I mean, they're paying for your flight
Yeah,
out there. They're paying for you to
yeah,
stay
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But to people there, they're just like because I mean, I know the team that I was on. There were people that on a team that were just they lived there, so like they were
Yeah,
a part of the team.
yeah,
But
exactly,
I was coming from Brooklyn, so like they flew me
exactly.
out here, So it's like for me, I'm like, oh, this is some, this is the pro life, like this
Yeah.
is different.
Now for me, like I'm a pro. It is like I played all over.
Yeah.
Um, I played at top levels in certain countries in South America. I played in top levels in Eastern Europe. I played, I'm just climbing the ladder in Germany because I felt like that was the place to stay at. But I
Mm.
had options to go other places and stuff. It's just, like I said, it's just the way that they treat certain levels out there, that kind of make you second guess yourself. Like, am I really a pro? But
Yeah.
like you said, like you're on a team, and this is the reason why I think that the lower levels are tougher because everything is your fault when you lose. When you win, everybody won. You don't touch the ball, and you literally have to be like perfect on the court out there
Yeah.
because and then and then the hardest thing that a lot of Americans have trouble with is like that creating chemistry with their teammates.
Yeah.
Because if your teammates quit on you, it's over for you.
Yeah. It's over. Yeah.
It's over. Like, and you have to deal with these teammates that legit smoke cigarettes every day,
Yeah.
drink beer every day, don't work out, don't come to practice, can't hit a shot, and they still expect you to pass them the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to figure out a way to like motivate some of these guys. Like, all right, I don't really party like that, but all right, if we win this game, we going out to party today.
Yeah. Yeah.
you got to figure out a way to get through to some of these guys. And the easiest way, like us in America, like we have that culture of like work hard, play hard in basketball. For them, this is like a hobby.
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
for some of these guys, it's like a hobby. So it's just like backwards a little bit, and like a lot of guys can't figure it out, and they get sent home because the team doesn't like them. Not necessarily because they can't perform. It's just because the players on the team don't get along with them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, and to also like also what you're saying. I mean, there's you could have like one or two bad games and then you're home. Like yeah, that it's a wrap. Like I've seen players, they come in 3, 4 games and that's it. They back, they're going back. They're going back home. So it's like
Yeah,
it's very tough. It's very competitive, which people don't understand. And not only is it competitive, it's competitive in another country. So it's not like I could just go home real quick if something happens. It's like you're there, you're stuck there. So it's like it's a lot to it that like a lot of people don't understand.
yeah, it's very tough. Like that amount of pressure that you have on your back to keep the contract, um, to keep it going, knowing that legit. My coaches used to show me sometimes, like just letting me know, yo, I have like 20 emails from different players today.
Yeah.
You know, and like they would never it was never a thing of like trying to replace me or trying to make me afraid, but they
Mm.
would just show me like, look, I every day I delete 50 messages from random players from the states.
Yeah.
So you knowing that, you have to be perfect every game.
Yep.
You have to try to win every game, and if you have one bad game, you better not have another one, because your replacements are literally ready,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it'll probably take less money than what you have, what you're getting offered. So it's just tough. It's really no security, and you cannot chill. You can't rest. It's tough.
Yeah, and not only that, like what you were saying, it's you have a lot of free time there, but you don't have
Yeah,
access to like the gym all the time. So it's like
yeah,
we
exactly.
were like squeezing in gym time, like just random times where you could just try to get into the gym or go to the weight room or something. So it's like even though you might have a lot of time, you don't really have a
Yeah,
lot of time because you might only have 1 hour in the whole day or 45 minutes the whole day to get shots up.
exactly. That was the tough part. Like over the years, I made sure like that was kind of in my contract. I need gym time.
Mm.
I need some type of gym time because how do you expect me to perform if I'm not ready?
Yeah,
I'm sitting around most times. You either sitting around watching TV, playing a game. It gets cold in Germany, so really fast too. So you're not really
yeah,
gonna be outside. You know, so I made sure to have a gym access with the weight room, and try to get as many type of shots as I can. But you're dealing with schools, like these are school gyms, these are not arenas. They don't have private gyms. Ronnie, he's one of the only guys in Germany who has a private gym, but he was
yeah,
2 hours away from me. So I only got to go to him maybe a couple times out the year. And then when the gas prices went up out there from all of this, the war and stuff,
yeah.
2 hours is it's a lot of
Yeah,
money. So like some people are blessed with those situations to have a lot of gym time and gym access, but just most aren't. And the thing is, that's not an excuse. Like they still expect you to perform.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You
that
know,
that that's. I mean, a lot of people don't really understand that part of it, but it is a lot to it because you just think like, yo, I just have a
yeah,
lot of time, but it's like
yeah,
you can't. That time is very limited if you really think about it. Like we had to go in like in between classes or something like that, like some random
exactly.
time to
Yeah,
like to get like shots up. And it's like we got a game
yeah,
tomorrow. Like we should be able to get a couple hours of shots in. So yeah,
yeah.
that part is definitely tough. So like you, how long have you been in playing? How long did you play in Germany?
Um, I, s- I played 1 year semi-pro in the States after in 2015. I went to Germany from 2016 to 2019. I took 2 years off. I went to China. I went to El Salvador, Dominican Republic, Bosnia, and then I came back last year to Germany again. Um, The reason why I came back is because I came off an injury, and I was in Bosnia, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the best route for me to go? Should I go back to Bosnia, or should I try to do it one more time in Germany and like solidify my name out there and make a actually climb the ranks like what we said before. I started in
Yeah.
that country, so I might as well finish it and climb the ranks and get up to the level that I need to be at before I try to make another move. So I ended up choosing Germany. I was told from a bunch of people, okay, Germany's better. Germany's a better market, even though the level was lower in Germany than it was in Bosnia.
Mm.
Go back to Germany and just kill it. So
Yeah.
that was my plan from the get go, is to just go back to Germany and prove everything, lay it all out, and that's when we got the championship. I got the player of the year, first team, and all of that. So I would say it worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
I say,
So
yeah.
where were you where you won the championship this last season?
I was in Gießen,
Okay.
or Gießen, yeah. So we weren't we weren't projected to win anything. It was legit me, one older guy. He was like 33. He played first league, but he like his first year kind of wanted to just chill and be more local. And then we had a bunch of young guys. Like young guys, I mean like 16 to like 22.
Uh,
And I was told from the team that they would they just wanted to chill. But like I said, I told them from day one, I'm coming here to try to win the championship. Like I seen the league, I know what's going on. And I know as an American, you only respect it if you win.
yeah.
So I didn't care about. I came in at first trying to get 30s and go crazy and just like dominate and show. But it didn't really work out with my teammates, and I had to take the step back to try to understand my teammates and get to know them. Get that chemistry going. And once we did that, like we just took over. Like we won like 9 straight. Kind of killed the league. Like came out of nowhere and just
Uh,
really like championship. And everybody was shocked. But I told them in the beginning of the year, we winning the championship if I come back, because I
yeah.
have no time to waste.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope. So there's a question. So not basketball related, but what is your favorite city that you played in? Not basketball, just city in general or town.
My favorite city. My favorite city playing in. I played
Well,
in
just
some like.
not well. You played in, but not basketball related. So like just your favorite just city just to live in. That but you played there.
I'm trying to think. I played in some pretty bad cities, to be honest. But if I had to say so, I would say Bensheim. My first year in Germany.
Mm.
It's a little village city called Bensheim. Um, it was just a good vibe overall, and they took care of me. They really took care of me. They showed me around. Had my own place. The place was nice. The city was really beautiful. It was on the side of the mountain. A lot like it's just like my first time dealing with just being overseas and being in that atmosphere. So it just it's always gonna stick with me because that's the first one. So I say Bensheim for sure.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So how was it like in China? Were you in like a big city or you just like a small?
China was a huge city. It was Chengdu. It was a huge city, but I didn't play out there. I went there to coach.
Oh.
I got injured, and on my way to recovery, I got a job offer to go coach basketball academy in China. So I was like, okay, I can either stay home and pout, or I can just go somewhere, make some money, rehab, and use this year wisely to save some money and get my body right. And then I was gonna make a push for some of the Chinese teams out there. I
Mm.
had some looks. I had some agents calling me, waiting for me to like kind of heal up to do some tournaments and see what's up with some leagues out there. But Corona happened right like 3 months into me being out there, so I
Oh.
had to go home,
Yeah.
kind of locked out of. and then life. You blink your eyes, 3 years go past. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty intense. I mean, I feel like the experience of playing overseas is great, especially like people like being from New York. I mean, before I
Yeah,
went to Germany, that was the first time I ever left the country. So like the furthest I've gone was like Disney in Florida. Like I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like I was a traveler before that. But it's really opened my eyes to traveling now. So like since I've been to Germany, I've been to tons of other different countries because now I understand like how it was, and I don't know if I would be that way if I didn't experience that like at that young of an age.
yeah. I think traveling and seeing the world or seeing as much as you can. I think it opens you up as a person. And especially like that New York mentality. I think it kind of hinders us because, like, let's be real, like New York is the best city in the world.
Yeah,
So when you live here, you kind of already have everything that you need.
yeah,
You kind of have this ignorance to you and this attitude of I'm better than anybody. Why do I need to go anywhere?
yeah.
And even though some of these places might be a little less than what you're used to, or a little bit, you've seen it already. It's still, it's still worth going to see because you find out more about yourself when you travel. When you leave your areas, you leave your circles, and you kind of just try to open up to different experiences. You'll learn a lot, and you'll mature a lot faster. I felt like I've been traveling for the last 8 years, like overseas, back and forth, different places, and I was accepted by a lot of these coaches because I accepted them. I
Yeah,
opened up. I didn't just come there like, oh, this is whack. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
yeah,
Blah blah
yeah,
blah. I actually opened up to it, and I've been in some situations now, like South America, where it wasn't the best. Like it wasn't the
yeah,
best at all. It was pretty bad, but like I opened up to it, and like those people, show me love even to this day. So like I have worldwide friends. I have countries and cities that I can always go back to. I'm always invited back to. They love me out there, and I love them. So I think it's very important whether you play basketball or not to just travel, just open up to it. It's a big world. New York City or wherever state, wherever city you're from, like there's way more to life than that, and you might find somewhere that you might like better than your actual city.
yeah, yeah. I mean, especially like living in Germany, it was so many Americans that wind up living there, staying there. They coached and they got a wife, and like you've seen so many cases of that. Like people just they go out there, they find it, they love it. I mean, you don't know unless you until you actually experience it. I mean, and I think it's different. It's different for basketball than just like it wasn't like I was going to Germany to for vacation. It was like,
Yeah,
I went there for work, but at the same time it was an experience that like I mean, as far as Germany goes, I would never go I would have never gone to that town that I was in at all.
right.
Like I would even know like there's people that I know from Germany and I tell them about that town and they don't even know where it's
Exactly.
at. So it's
Yeah,
like if it wasn't for basketball, not only would I have gone to the country, I would have never even gone to that particular place at all. And like I mean, they greeted me well there. It's like it's a place like I mean, I'm still in contact with a lot of people from there even to this day, and
exactly.
it's something that is life changing. Like if you, that's what I always tell people. Like just if you have the opportunity to play somewhere, you just want to just try it. Even if you don't like it, that's cool. Like at least say that you did it, but at least just try it. So I always like to end up by asking guests like, what are their favorite players growing up? What are your favorite players now? And what are your favorite teams growing up and your favorite teams now?
Okay, so player of all time is Kobe. My favorite team at the time was fan. Um, I was a big fan of OKC back when they had KD. I thought they would be the team to beat after the Lakers. Fade. They just didn't keep the team together, and then it
Yeah,
kind of blew up. I don't really have a favorite team because these players they move around so much. Top five, I would say, is definitely like Dame, CJ, KD, and Embiid. Like those are guys who, if they're playing, I'm definitely watching. Except for Embiid, I'm kind of watching their game and try to take some tricks or see how they play. Adding some of that into my game. So I really watch those guys, and wherever they end up, I guess that's what team I'm rooting for at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think the game now is a little bit. I mean, the game has always been about the players. Like we always were a fan of the players before the teams. Besides, like your home team. Like I love the Knicks. The Knicks, they aren't good now, but I'm a fan of a lot of players. So it's like that team might change. Like now these days. But back in the day, it was like, all right, if I like this team, if you like Kobe, you're gonna like the Lakers for 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. It's
like
not the
now it's just like. You might like the Lakers one year. You might like the Cavs. Now you really don't know. Like
I don't blame these guys. They getting their money. They doing what they. And then the guys who are staying, I respect them. Like I think Giannis at this point, the decision he made to stay, but he ended up winning the championship. And like that, Bradley Beal, he kind of hurt my feelings with that sign, but he signed.
yeah,
Like so those are and then same thing with Dame. Like but he stayed, and those guys like they'll be lifers for the most part. I respect that, but it's just not as common anymore. Like you said,
yeah,
it's like guys are there just chasing the bag for real, or trying to like find a team right now instead of to blame them because for years the general had a hold on the league, and now the players are doing what they want.
yeah.
It's a players' league. Get your money, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, I feel the same. I feel the same way. It's like, I feel like the fan part of me wants to see the players stay with the team and all that, but like the player part, like the athlete part of me is like, I can't blame you for doing what you're doing. Like I would do the same exact thing, especially when you see like the teams doing the same thing. They're getting rid of players here. They're getting rid of players all the time. So it's like if I see all my friends getting moved, like I'm not gonna feel bad by saying I won out. You know what I'm saying? Like you bringing all these people in and you getting rid of them, and it's like now you want me to be loyal, but you're not loyal to 80% of the team. So it's like that's my thing. And these players are getting the bag. So it's like you said, like a guy like Giannis, it's like I'm happy he got the ring with Milwaukee, because it's like he's stuck with it. He's stuck with the process.
Exactly.
But a guy like Bradley Beal, I don't think he's ever going to win the championship there. So it's like, get your money, like
his money, you might as well, and he's the bucket too. But I don't know. How can you say no to $250 million? You say no to that.
No, you don't say no. And then honestly, he's gonna say he's gonna get the bag. He's gonna do the baseball thing, and then like 3 years, he's gonna ask to get traded, and it'll be all right. So
yeah, he's still gonna be a good player. So he's cool.
Yeah, you got to get the bag when you can, because you don't have but so much time to play, and it's like this is the time of his career where he's going to get the most money. So it's like if you take a pay cut now, it's not like you're going to get it your next contract. You're going to be, what I'm saying, that's going to be the end of your career. So it's like you got to do it now. So I get it.
Yeah. More respect to them. Get your money, man.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I have friends that play and friends that don't play, and like people as like when they're fans, you thinking of it like from the team standpoint, like, oh, this person's disloyal to the team. This person, thinking of it like, oh, everybody uses this guy's a cancer, all that type of stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, this is my job. So if I went to you and your job, any job, and I'm like, yo, I could offer you double to leave, who's gonna say no? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like or not only that, like being in a toxic situation, like you at your job and you around people that you don't like, and you have opportunity to leave, you're gonna leave. That's any job. But people don't think of it as like, yo, this is their job. They just like, yo, this is a sport. So you know what I'm saying, you gotta sign to this team. Now you gotta stay with them.
Yeah, the biggest piece of advice for players coming up, it's something I had to deal with this year. From a team and like do what's best for you. You know, like you said, some of these dudes be taking pay cuts and stuff like that to try to help benefit the team, and the team will turn around and not want you no more.
Yeah.
And then you just take a pay cut for what? You know, or you kind of getting the short end of the stick. So at this point, I'm not saying be selfish, win, but yes, be selfish. Win, do what you have to player. But when it's time for you to make those decisions, like make them for yourself. Don't make them for the team. If they benefit you, then do it. If it doesn't, then don't. Because when a team has that meeting at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, and if they don't want you, they're not going to get rid of you, give you a little tribute. That's the end of it. So get yours.
That's the thing. It's like, and it's also too like the mindset of, you know, we played overseas where it's different than NBA. Like, you know, NBA, you sign in a big 5-year deal, you're going to be with that team once you sign. Here, I mean, I've seen people come in and out 2-3 guys in the season, like, you know, like so it's like
exactly.
It could be game to game. So like the mindset is, I'm gonna take as much money as I can when I can. So it's like it's also like two different mindsets with that too. And also like with the pay cut thing, is like that's only works if you're like championship level. You already, you know, because it's like if you take a pay cut, to play for a team and they lose in the second round. Now you just took a pay cut for nothing. Like,
for what? Yeah, exactly, for what?
Yeah, it's like, well, like, and that happened. Like, you know, like players left the team and they like went ring chasing and they taking the pay cut, and that team wound up not even being that good. And then it's like, all right, so now you lost on $8 million to lose in the second round, which you probably could have did in either way, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll just say, you know, do what's best, and also you can be selfish while being unselfish. You know, as a player, selfish of me to pass the ball, not because I want to pass you the ball, but because I want that assist. Give it that way. It doesn't mean just come up jacking shots or you know, pretty much jacking shots. Like, I'm selfish in the fact that when I get on the court, I want to stuff the stat sheet. I want to try to. I need those assists.
Yeah,
so I'm passing the ball to benefit me. Also, that's just a way I've been taught to think, and especially in this professional levels when it's a production. Like, what are you producing to the game? Like,
I mean, I think especially in the overseas level is might be more about production than maybe even like the NBA at certain aspects of it, because it's literally could come down to like day to day, like literally could come down from like 1 week to the next week. And NBA is not really like that. I mean, you're not going to really get cut the next week unless you're on a 10-day or something, you know, something like that. So it's like it is a whole different mindset when you're playing and in that type of environment, because it's like everything is being looked at, like how you act on the court, how you act around your teammates, or every little thing is being looked at, and it's like the pressure's on you because it like you said, coaches have people that are ready at all times. So it's like you mess up, all right, I'm just gonna call this guy in, and then that's it.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Yeah.
All right, so Chris, so tell us where the people can find you. Tell us a little bit, like you have Miller Vision. Tell us about that.
So my personal Instagram is The Great Miller. My business name, Miller Vision, is a brand that I created just to try to, to start off as just me sharing my story from being from Brooklyn, chasing this overseas, not listening to anybody when they try to doubt what your dream is, what your vision for you. You can see it and you put the work in for it, it can happen for you. And I'm to his own thing. I mentor now. I do skills training, video edit, just sharing the story and trying to inspire the next generation coming from mainly from where I'm coming from, because you don't really have many options. Well, growing up, we didn't have too many options. It was either play ball or go another route. Took
Yeah.
that and I made it into my own. I created my own lane, and I'm happy making millions, but I'm happy with the life that I have because I chose it. And basically, I'm able to, choose that, that life that they see for themselves. Well, it's not too far fetched, and when you see a guy who's making crazy amounts of money but is still happy with his life, I think it's easy to relate to. Then like, all you got to do is put in the work. You're making millions of dollars, bro. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You're more down to earth and share that same message because the message is true.
Yeah, that's dope. So thank you for joining us. This was dope. Make sure you follow Chris Miller. I'm gonna have all the information below. Make sure you follow us. Follow me at ITA Movement. You can also find us at hoopersconnection.com. Thank you for joining us, and we out of here.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.